So like this is like general notes on what I'm going to talk about today. It's just going to be a talking stream because PowerPoints are boring. I can't put shit together. So with that being said, I think I'm going to hop right into it. I'm going to try and do like a video of this where basically you see all like these things, talking points, and I'm going to try and like label them throughout the video. So maybe, man, you've never thought of analyzing your own games. How do you do that? Well, we're actually going to go over that today. That's the best part. As Faust just said in the chat, most important thing for improvement is getting a variety of different types of practice, which is spot on. It's spot on. Look at all of the ways I have listed for ways to improve. So with that, we're going to get started. Faust is my one audience member. I do have a like video game OST playlist. Let's see what we get. So to start things off, I'm just going to talk about myself. Hey guys, why should you listen to Sark of all people? As most people like to do, they like to improve at the game. And there's my thesis for today is skills are subjective, results are objective. Improvement is non-linear. I was going to draw you a little graph. Let's see if I can do that. Paint. See if I can draw you a little graph of how we think improvement works. So you think, like here's like skill, here's time. The more time you put into the game, the better you get. It's that easy. The problem with that line of logic is it looks like this more. That's why we'll quit the graph, but essentially that is kind of like what I want to point out today. So you can see, my results go up and down, especially online. It's crazy. That's not really the point of today. It's just, I thought I had more to say about myself. All I can say is I've started this game like 10 years ago. Yeah, 10 years ago, at least watching it, and I was number one in my region for a very long time until the epic Faust came along, and actually didn't get named number one because he didn't play me after he got good. So we're perfect. We're fine. Let's move on to what I want to talk about today. Since we got Faust in the chat, we got lots to talk about. This next note I have here, I'm going to start things off by saying I can't find the clip, but one time I was watching Pew Pew's stream and he mentioned that you should practice like you would play in tournament. For instance, if I'm listening to music right now, that's what I usually do when I'm in tournament. Is I listen to music. There's a hidden legend there, but maybe that's a story for another day. So that's kind of like something I'm going to take to this. I've noticed when I practice, when I'm watching streams, when I'm trying to like just keep up even, I can't practice tech chasing. I could never like beat someone at my skill level if I'm playing serious. So I highly suggest if you don't listen to music while you play in tournament, just listen to the game music, listen to nothing. I don't know. Practice like you would play is all I'm saying. But that leads into my next point, which is to start off. We're going to start off with our ways to improve. Now, improving, when I said there was a scale, all of these are scales. What I'm about to list off are like scales that can make you better, and they basically come down to your fundamentals, like doing each of these things properly, doing some of them. Some you have to figure it out yourself. This is a singles-oriented game. There's no real help. So basically what we're going to do is I'm going to talk about ways to improve, and then we're going to go talk about how that improves your fundamentals and how actually the scale of fundamentals you'll see. Like, let's see what I have. Like spacing, reaction time, defense. Just because you're better than someone at one aspect does not mean you're going to beat them. Obviously, maybe that's obvious. So, wrapping around, back to the start. Friendlies is where you should try your hardest. We could end the sentence there. Friendlies are whatever you want them to be. Now, if your type of friendlies are the ones where you go on unranked and you jump around and you like camp lasers and you try to make a statement, you're like, this other person sucks. Play the way you want, and people will play you if they want. That's all I have to say on that. So this is friendlies, like just straight friendlies, by the way. We're not talking about serious friendlies. We're talking about normal friendlies. This isn't Melee. This is Google Docs. So true. It's because I'm talking about Melee and improving, but it also could be related to fighting games. I did do some research, and I did pull some references. I did the research, okay, guys? That's all I'm saying. So friendlies is the place to try new stuff. Tournament is where you should try your hardest. Because if you're trying new stuff in friendlies, suddenly it'll just translate over to tournament. It's crazy. It's crazy how that works. Easier said than done. But like if you're looking for new rest setups for Jigglypuff mains out there, if you're looking for like new combos with Fox or Falco, friendlies are the place to try them. In tournament, if you haven't tried them before, more than likely you're just going to mess up unless you're really good that day. Practice makes perfect, and don't do anything in tournament that you haven't done in practice. Typically, sometimes you can't really practice against some characters in Melee. It's real unfortunate. You have some doys. What about for Kirby mains? We'll talk about Kirby mains in a bit. I'll put that right at the bottom. Talk about Kirby. And that doesn't mean about like Melee Kirby. That just means talk about Kirby in general. So that's where we're going to start off. Friendlies, great place to start. That's how you start playing, right? Like you don't start playing Melee by practicing tech skill. You have to enjoy the game. You should be having fun when you play friendlies, and you should play friendlies with the type of people who you have fun playing against, because there's other ways to play friendlies. There's stuff like serious friendlies where maybe you go to the Melee Online Discord and you ask someone to play it. Honestly, just go to what your highest level is and ask for Fox mains, ask for Falco mains, and really take that practice a little more seriously than you would friendlies. But also you have the opportunity to try new things. A step up from that is money matches and pride matches. In Melee, there's not much money, right? So sometimes, good point. Sometimes we bring it down to pride, because that's all we really got at the end of the day. All these rankings, all these placements, they really mean nothing, because as I said at the start, skills are subjective. Skill, it's just something you got, and results are objective. So whatever you got at the tournament, it doesn't mean like that's your defined skill level forever, and that's it. Echo's pissed there's no money in Melee. I don't blame him, because I play it all the time, and he's like, why? Why would you play it all the time if there's no money? So I guess that's like how I define friendlies, and my general thoughts about playing with different people and what you should try and get out of it. Next up is tournament practice. Attend tournaments is on this way to improve. You may think like, oh, I'm not good enough for tournaments, man, and that might be true. In a lot of aspects, you could grind each single one of these ways to improve and never get better. I'm serious about that. If you just entered tournaments, for instance, and you did nothing else, you're going to suck for forever. I think that's true. Instead, what you need to do is mix it up. So tournaments is where you try out the really hard stuff. I wouldn't take it too seriously on where you place, rather the people you play. You should probably think about that more than like how they're playing. Like they played really dumb maybe, and they cheesed you. Instead, I would just try and do your best, take it seriously, or not. It's as I mentioned before, this game is entirely up to you. This is not doubles. This is only singles. So attend tournaments. I'm going to move on to the things that I kind of skipped here. So self-practice is something I didn't include because I felt like friendlies were a better place to start. But self-practice is probably one of, if not the most important way to improve The way you do that is you go to a simple, you Google, what's this? Uncle Punch. Yes. It's that easy. You just go and download this, or you look up Uncle Punch Patreon. I can't type apparently. And here's where you could download the easiest mod for Melee to just have a bunch of stuff. I'm just going into this kind of briefly. Oops. I'm going to go into this briefly because Uncle Punch is just that good, eh? So if you can, let's see. Looking for game to capture. Can we come back, please? Can we capture the game? There we go. This is Uncle Punch. You probably heard about it a lot, and if you see any of these and they really like stand out to you, I suggest you like put the money in. You subscribe to Uncle Punch. But that's not what about today is about. Because I'm just gonna, let's see. Let's go back here. You could do this in training mode in like vanilla Melee, where literally you move around. Everybody knows this, but what you should be doing when you're self-practicing is specifically one thing you should focus on at a time. I think that's like one of my biggest notes here is you don't try and only go for the big picture. You try to do one thing at a time. We're going to practice. Hey, Fox, we're going to practice tech chasing, okay? We got the tech chase down. Oh, man, I'm good with that. I'm going to practice some of this. Some Shino stalling. I'm going to practice shield dropping. And Uncle Punch has, like, very specific ways of doing each of these things. For instance, shield dropping. Where can I showcase that? You can apply shield dropping. This is why Uncle Punch is so good. You can actually apply what you have in mind that you want to practice. So that's the point I wanted to make about Uncle Punch, but don't think that no Uncle Punch means no improvement. You can. I didn't have a Melee GameCube or anything when I first started playing this game, and I got #1 in my region. So what can I say? Just sell your GameCube. I think I have this specifically capitalized. Why? Because remember what I just said? You need to be working on something, one thing at a time. So when it comes to friendlies, you can be mindlessly playing. You can be like, let's say you're working on your fundamentals. You want to just like play. You want to get better at just like reacting to things. That's fine. But sometimes you should enter friendlies to improve on something specifically. Like, let's say I'm playing a Fox and a Falco, and I really want to make sure I get all my tech chases, and I want to start trying to figure that out. That's one thing you can use. Next up is we're going to talk about analysis. You can see how disorganized this is, because I just put it together today. I really wanted to just, again, see if I can make any sense about my thoughts of improving in Melee, because if I can't, maybe there's something I could do better. So we're going to talk about analysis, and I think this is the most slept on thing because no one wants to sit there. Let's pull up. One sec. Gonna pull up Slippy Launcher, and we're gonna look at some gameplay. This is this can be slept on. That's all I have to say, because there are a lot of games in tournament, especially, where you're gonna lose, and you're not gonna know why. So I suggest going back. If you have a coach, if you have a friend who mains the same character, or someone who is mindful of like when they play, and if they can help you, I would heavily suggest doing it with someone else. But also, it's very good to just look at your own gameplay and you're like, why did I do that? Another, I have like a little side I have an interjection here. That's all I can think of saying. For my note about post-game analysis. This is different from analysis because this is just you after your friendly, after your tournament game, just being like, man, I could have tech chased better that game. Or like if that's what really made you lose, then you know what to practice, and you should go and practice that. That's what I mean by post-game analysis. But I have like this little clip from what is it? How much? Oh. SSBM tutorials. Again, these guys obviously came up when I looked up just a what did I look up? Improving at melee, fundamentals of melee, just like anything to not repeat someone else. I saw like a video on, like there was the triangle of just like playing, analyzing, and I would show the video if I really cared. Anyway, this is the video that we do care about, and we're just gonna watch a couple seconds of it. Here's Captain Face Roll for everybody.
Much cheese or BS they used to beat you, you can always gain something from it. My suggestion is after you lose, take 10 or so minutes to let your head clear and the salt dissipate, and then start thinking about how to improve. Try to take one mistake from each set and focus on improving on it. Did you miss a lot?
Alright, that's nice, Captain Face Roll. That's all I needed there. Great point. And the reason I actually wanted to highlight this is because of his first one. Take 10 minutes to get rid of the salt. Because at the start, you're going to be like, that guy played so late. He played so stupid. You have nothing productive pretty much to say. And those are all fair points, probably. So yeah, take the time. Breathe a bit. This is just about... This could apply to friendlies afterwards too. Just like take time to let the salt settle in. Everybody gets upset. Trust me when we play this game. It's okay. Start thinking of how to improve. What does he mean by this? He specifically talks about improving your tech chases if that was needed. I think that, of course, goes further. I'm a Sheik main, so it's very hard to speak for anything else but tech chasing because, side note, that's why you lose against space animals so often. You just suck at tech chasing, and that does seem to be the case with me. Alright, and then take one mistake from each set and focus on improving it. The way I understand this is I actually watch a streamer who plays League of Legends. He was #1 in North America, and every time he would like make him, or after like a team fight, even if he died, or whether he died or not, he would always be like, "Oh man, I could have spaced this better, or I could have not gone in at this moment." That is exactly what you need to be doing with melee after like thinking about why you lost the stock. You need to just think like, why did I lose the stock? Even if it was as simple as you jumped off the stage and a Sheik back-aired you, like just clipped you or something, and all of a sudden she had you in an edge guard situation. Trust me, that is something you can work on. You don't have to get clipped. You could have just not jumped off stage. It's as simple as that sometimes. Tyler 1, are you guys trying to find out? No, it's ex-Davemon. It's that neither of those people are the ones I'm talking about. I hope... Anyway, just a side note, guys, if you have any comments, questions, please let me know. I don't know how I'm doing. I'm doing this out of nowhere, as you can tell. So yeah, any feedback would help. Any questions to kind of like... Because right now I'm just talking. So if you, I guess I'll also post this on YouTube, so make sure to comment anything. I'll just say that. It gets the algorithm up. Next up, I think I mostly talked about this, is money matching and putting things on the line. That's just like a more serious type of, or less serious for like tournament for you pretty much. Is if you do money matches, people say that like that's how you get the pros to try. I'm burpy from the freaking my Red Bull. I'm talking and drinking Red Bull. In my opinion, you can't ever get someone to try. And what I mean by that, sometimes they don't need to. Sometimes they just don't want to. Even if you're playing in tournament, you're going to play someone who just can't take you seriously. And you might just win because of it. So that's why I wouldn't say that that's the guaranteed way to get someone to play you seriously. Rather, it's a way to get you have to play it seriously. Like, you can only control yourself, so you can play it seriously. You can, yeah. Hope you get that. Next up on my list of ways to improve is watching others. I'm going to switch the song to a much better banger. Watching others is probably one of the more slept on things of Melee. And you don't even have to like watch people of your own main. You can watch what other people do and like why they're effective and good. That's much easier said than done now that I'm saying it though. You don't... Like sometimes... My thing is, what I'm thinking of right now is how, like, casuals spectate. You know, you just watch and there's combos sometimes, but I think Melee players, like, for the majority of us, we're looking at, like, what the person is doing and, like, what they're inputting, what they're thinking. We're always thinking about that. And if you can, like, if watching someone else makes you think of something new, then I highly suggest, like, bringing what stood out to you. That's why I think I labeled that on the list of things I have here. Ugh, I'm talking a lot. Whew. Is if anything stands out to you, that's the thing you should try. Each of these methods of improvement, you've probably played a lot of friendlies. You might have, like, done a lot of self practice, but have you watched others? Like, have you sat down and watched, like, tournament sets? Like, have you analyzed yourself? Like, if no, then you have room for improvement. Studying frame boxes. You know what? Close enough. Down B stands out to be for sure. You know what? Yeah, there's a lot of good down Bs in Melee. True. This is a weird one because not everyone does it. Some people say they don't need it, but I think the general thoughts about it nowadays is that people just know this stuff. People just know that. Oh wait, I don't know any frame data. Instead, what I'll suggest, guys, go to google.com, Sheik Discord, Melee. Boom. Smash chords. That's what we're looking for. Maybe I'll link this in the description. But here it is. You can, Fox. What is happening? Where's all the discords? There we go. All right, here's all the character discords. Make sure to do exactly what I did. You got the character discords, the local discords. For regions and stuff, I assume. But yeah, this is what you're looking for, is the character discords. So if I, for instance, pull up the Sheik Discord I'm a part of. Frame data. Whoa. You can literally just type in what you want, and boom, you have learned the frame data of the move. Boom. So when it comes to matchups, there's going to be some, like, very nuanced instances of, like, how did I lose that? Well, frame data is going to help. Knowing hitboxes is going to help with that. If you don't know the hitbox of the thing that hit you, how are you supposed to beat it? I don't know. That's not how I work. Typically what I do is if I'm struggling in a matchup, I will look up their moves and see what they're about. I don't know what else to say about that because I'm not a frame data kind of guy. As most people would know. Let's move on to the next one that I could talk about a bit more. Mindset. Boom. Big one. If you're playing, let's say you go on unranked, and, like, you're just playing some shit or Sheik, and you're, like, this sick Fox or Falco. So, if anyone asks you, yeah, you're sick. And you're thinking, this Sheik is dumb, stupid, cheeser. Like, you're probably not going to learn anything. You're just, I guess I'm projecting right now. I'm speaking from experience where I've just lost to so many spacies online. That just, the ego's there. They're not thinking about, like, why did they get beat? It's just like they got back thrown at the ledge and then died. And they're like, Sheik is stupid. I don't need to improve in this. Like, Sheik's just dumb. So I would heavily suggest, like, thinking better about things. If you think you're gonna lose, you're gonna lose. If you think, if you're not thinking about how the character's beating you, and instead you're thinking about how stupid the game is or how stupid the character is, you're not gonna win. You're not gonna make the adaptations that you need, like that the other person is making. So you can improve in mindset. And then last, we have discussion. So the example I wanted to use today was one time Ice came to Peterborough. And as we drove him back from the airport, we had a discussion about Yomi layers. We had a discussion about Sheik Fox. And that's more enlightening than anything. Like those kind of late night talks where you just usually if you're normal you talk about the world and like deep things, but if you're a Melee player that's all you talk about. Try talking to your friends about the game seriously, and you might find things out that like another person has seen and you haven't. So that's our ways to improve. Mindset is an interesting one to include in my opinion. Right there. I wish I had more to say about each of these things, but I also have to take into consideration time. I want to play on East Coast Fridays today. So all these things I just talked about could boil down to self-practice. So Uncle Punch or just going in the default game and moving around, practicing punishing the characters. Friendlies, big, massive. Just playing the game, having fun with it, and like it's not like you're going there to learn. Maybe you're going there to improve on a specific fundamental, which we'll go into. Serious play. I decided to keep these separate because serious friendlies are a thing for sure. There are people who try hard. They try like they're in tournament every single time they play a friendly, and you can take that as practice as well. You can take their seriousness and be like, darn, they're being serious. Like I gotta try my hardest too. Way to improve. I guess that's the whole freaking point of this. All right, what else? What other note do I have here? Is basically if something stands out to you here, like maybe you never thought to do one of these things, like for instance, maybe you didn't think you should enter a tournament because you're too bad. If you think that, there's a tournament specifically for newcomers called 0-2, or going 0-2, I believe. So there's always a tournament for you. Let's see if we get another song. It's all the Third Strike music that's clicking today. Now we are going to move on to why do any of these things? Like why would I discuss the game? Why would I improve my mindset? It's to improve your fundamentals, stupid. That's the whole reason. So in a lot of cases, people are gonna have be better in fundamentals like in different places than you. They're gonna be better altogether. If someone's better altogether in fundamentals, you're probably gonna lose. But here's the thing: is we do want to be thinking about mindset. So don't be thinking about for sure you're gonna lose. Think about how you what are your win conditions. Think about that instead. I did make an example of oh man, fundamentals that are just too good for me personally is IBDW. Last time I played that guy was nuts. He was crazy. But anyway, here are the fundamentals that I've kind of outlined today. I'm just going to move this down. One of them is movement. Moving your character is super important because if you mess up moving your character, that is a punish for the other person. I guess I just want to more outline what it is, and of course it's like wave dashing, it's shield dropping, dash dancing, it's all those kind of techniques that you're gonna obviously improve through all of these things. Next up is spacing. How well do you space your aerials on people's shields and on are you getting shield grabs? Those sorts of things are important when it comes to spacing. Another thing, I think this might be a more controversial one, is reaction. Because, sure, we got reaction time. Watch this. Reaction tester. Human benchmark test. Oh man, my reaction speed is only 211. That means I can't down throw tech chase as Sheik. That means I can't react when maybe I get an up tilt with Puff into arrest. I'm going to explain to you something very simple right now, is you can react to anything in the game no matter what your reaction time is if you play enough. Maybe you need more because your reaction time is worse. I don't know. But it's a fundamental that can be improved in each of these, because in each different instance of Melee, you're learning how to react, and if you know how to react already, you're going to be better. Boom. Mind-blowing stuff. This is why I said this is very kind of out there. It's not even that good in my opinion. Like, I don't know if many people are listening, but thanks for tuning in. Let me know how the volume is and everything. We're going to move on to technical skill, tech skill. This is all very, I think, self-explainable stuff. Tech skill is like your ability to not mess up things and maybe hit the more technical things like multi-shines. But every character has tech skill that is necessary for you to win. And you don't need to have like a 10 out of 10 tech skill game to win, as many species would probably think. Instead, you just need enough. You need to hit your punishes, you need to hit your movement, like your good movements, yada yada, bing ba boom. Next up, quick one is defense. That's a good fundamental. Counter hitting, like hitting people out of their own combos because you know you can. You know the frame data maybe. Maybe you just have intuition that that their combo won't work, so instead you go for the counter hit. Stuffing out an approach, so F-tilting as Sheik, for instance, as someone runs at you. So, like back airing someone as they run at you. Crouch canceling. This isn't a fundamental. I was looking at a lot of stuff about fundamentals before this. I sound like Donald Trump saying that. I swear, I know everything I'm talking about, for sure. I've heard a lot of people talk about fundamentals anyway. Crouch canceling, holding down at the right time, that's just a part of the defense scheme, and it's not like a make or break situation. It's not a major fundamental. Escaping combos, I think these are self-explanatory. Survival and combo DI, how well do you do those things? V canceling, that one was kind of a meme. I'm like, maybe someone thinks it's important you V cancel every time. That's a part of your defense scheme. Zoning with a question mark, because I think spacing pretty much covers anything you would mention in zoning in Melee. But I guess with characters like Link, Young Link, the zoners, like that's the only time I don't even think it's a fundamental, because you don't really zone in this game. You just make it so. Wait, what I was going to explain was zoning. I don't know. I just think that spacing is like a better way to define. Like it's a part of spacing, in my opinion. Like making sure someone can't move to a certain region of the screen. That sounds like space. Pressure. Can you hit your drill shines? Can you hit your down air shines as Falco? Can you fair jab and at the right times as Sheik and move away and not get shield grab, not get ASDI down, shield or crouch cancel grabbed, those sort of things. Focus. That's a big one. I think I mentioned a lot of it at the beginning about like practice the way that you would play in tournament. So, you know, with or without music, posture maybe. I swear there was something else. Meditation. That was another thing. For those of you who don't meditate, meditation is a great way to practice or just improve your focus game. Like focusing, like sometimes people are less focused and they beat you. Sometimes someone zoned the hell in and they beat you because of it. So as I said before, not one of these is going to mean that you beat somebody. It just makes you a character. It all adds together. Whew! I'm making so much sense. And last but not least, but I think having a flowchart, I don't know how else to put it, is the type of fundamental that can be improved on. And of course, your flowchart can be improved through all these ways of practicing. And what I mean by this is my greatest example is obviously Sheik tech chasing. Wow. You need to know what you're going to do as a follow-up before you even need to think about it. So if you down throw a fox, if you have it in your head like, I need to be able to jab reset this, I need to be able to tech chase if they do this, what you instead need to be doing, because you're probably going to mess up and freeze up in most cases, what you you need to be reacting. And so if you don't have that flowchart, you're not going to be able to think of it in time. It won't just be like fundamentally there. You'll have to think about it, and that'll make you freeze up. The reason I just went on this tangent about talking about all this, I'm trying to get a song. Third Strike. Brain Power. I had a song from Third Strike. Where did I go through all my songs? I think I did, guys. Pause moment. I'm just gonna put another one of the. I'm gonna replay a song. So why does all of this matter at all? Like, what did I just talk about? Why is my thesis skills are subjective, results are objective? Because all of this helps your intuition. Like, how well do you play the game? How well do you react to things in the game? How much do you know about it? How is it intuitive to you or not? Crazy. I think this is a fundamental in itself almost. But the thing is you can't just be better intuitively than someone and beat them, right? Like, it's another thing where you're like, you could be better than them intuitively, but maybe they got you beat in another fundamental or a few more. So intuition is just like literally being able to bring everything together. Like, you don't think of all these things while you play, obviously. You instead, it's just intuitive. It's just all there. So that's why it's very important to practice all these different ways. It'll really help your intuition. Bing, bada, boom, make the pizza. You get the sauce, get the cheese, get the dough, all that stuff. I'm being funny. Another thing I wanted to talk about is momentum. And I guess I just wanted to go on a side tangent about that because people often say, like, oh, the momentum's in this person's part of the ring. You know, it's this way. There's a lot of momentum of this person coming off of, like, a win. And I kind of wanted to talk about that because it's not something you can control. Momentum is... Remember, you can only control yourself. You can control your mindset of walking into a game and, like, you know, having a positive mindset. Is this person just being dumb, or am I actually going to look at what they're doing? That's a way you can help your momentum, but that's the only way. Sometimes you get creamed and you can't help it. Sometimes you cream the other person, they can't help it. Momentum is just something that exists outside of your reach. But you can only do things like getting better, adapting. Those sort of things are what momentum represents. It's not that it's something you control. It's instead just something. It's just a byproduct. So I just took several different ways of explaining that. Hope you guys got it. Hope you guys enjoyed my general idea of improvement. What do we get from this today? Why did I even talk about any of that? Look how big my brain is. You can see it coming out. You can see it growing from the discussion of Super Smash Bros. Melee. These are all just, they're just ways I think of improving. Any questions? Concerns? My one viewer. I need you. So how do you improve in Melee? I guess that would be the question that we're looking for. Boom. Here's what you're improved. Like, here's how you improve. Here's what you're improving. You can, like, focus on each one of these during, like, a tournament game. Not each one of these, but one at a time is what I meant to say. Or, like, during friendlies, you could be like, man, I really want to get my reaction tech chases down. That's what I'm going to focus on today. Nothing else matters. You could also do that about a tournament. What you bring into... Like, you're the only one who can bring something into each of these types of practices. So I think I got it all down. As bad as this is, it's 40 minutes of a tangent. I will be posting this to YouTube. I'm finally done my Red Bull. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to do some practice, hopefully, with somebody